So here we are, we're in the democratic city, which is the mob city, right? He says, I suppose, this is Socrates talking here. I suppose that when a democratic city, once it's thirsted for freedom, gets bad wine bearers as its leaders and gets more drunk than it should on this unmixed draft, then, unless the rulers are very gentle and provide a great deal of freedom, it punishes them, charging them with being polluted and oligarchs. Yes, he said, that's what they do. And this is Adeimantus now talking. And it spatters, says Socrates, with mud those who are obedient, alleging that they are willing slaves of the rulers and nothings. I said, while it praises and honors, both in private and public, the rulers who are like the ruled, and the ruled who are like the rulers. Isn't it necessary in such a city that freedom spread to everything? So he says, if freedom, liberty, construed as just ability to do what you want, right? No constraints. If that's your only good, then other virtues, other goods are going to fall by the wayside, including the virtue of obedience to the law and the virtue of law in and of itself, right? And so, my friend, I said, for it to filter down to the very private houses and end up by anarchies being planted in the very beasts. A father habituates himself to be like his child and fear his sons, and a son habituates himself to be like his father and to have no shame or fear of his parents, so that he may be free. And metic is on equal level with townsman, and townsman with metic, and similar with the foreigner. This is part of Aristophanes' Clouds also, right? The kind of the son who ends up beating up his father. These and other small things of the following kind come to pass, I said, as the teacher in such a situation is frightened of the pupils and fawns on them, so the students make light of their teachers as well as of their attendants, and generally the young copy their elders and compete with them in speeches and deeds, while the old come down to the level of the young, imitating the young. They're overflowing with facility and charm, and that's so they won't seem to be unpleasant or despotic. Does this sound to you like a classroom you've ever been in? Because it sure does to me. And the ultimate in the freedom of the multitude, my friend, occurs in such a city when the purchased slaves, male and female, are no less free than those who have bought them. And we almost forgot to mention the extent of the law of equality and freedom in the relations of women with men and men with women. So some of these things, right, we would say, of course, that the end of slavery is a good thing, but we're going to totally miss the point if we just shake our finger at Plato and say, it's you think that slaves should be obedient. No. He's actually saying something much more structural, which is that there are, whatever city you live in is going to have rules, right, order and stability based on people's buy-in to the rules of life. And once those become inherently evil, once all rule, all constraint becomes evil, right, then you're living in the truly democratic, which is to say the truly freedom-obsessed state. Freedom even over the notion of a law, right? Any law, any imposition, any constraint on my ability, you see where this is going, right? Like you say that I can't be a man even though I am a woman. You say that I can't be like, you say that I can't have total control over my every aspect of my sex life. You're telling me that I can't sleep with 15 people in a night and not get monkeypox. You're telling me that I can't have unprotected sex and just not get pregnant, right? You're telling me all of these kind of like constraintless ideas. It's like, well, I'm not telling you that. Like, that's just a fact of life. But the hatred of all constraint, right, is the excess of freedom that Plato is talking about.